Hello ladies and gentlemen, Willie here. So over the past few weeks I've been doing something which I never really expected to get into in Classic. I've been ranking. You know, for the longest time I had more or less convinced myself that I just didn't like PvP in Classic, and whilst, you know, it's certainly got its flaws, it's an area of the game where you can really pull off outplays and show your skill difference between other players, which is quite a bit harder to do in PvE. Well, that is assuming your bags are full of engineering items and potions, that is, and that spell batching doesn't ruin your fun, or that somebody doesn't crit you twice in a row and you just get deleted. I'm not exactly painting the best picture here, am I? But I have liked it overall though. Thing is, I've been trying to get into PvP on the Warlock for the longest time. I've tried all the different specs, the conflag variations which do incredible damage but you're super squishy, Soul Link makes you into a semi-tank, but damage over time effects just don't cut it when Burst is king in Classic. I have engineering, all the various trinkets, very good gear, and yet I just could never really get into the class too much. Until I randomly started playing my Hunter more. Now, I've always liked playing ranged more than melee, and the Hunter was my most played class back in vanilla, and the differences I've noticed between the two really does feel like night and day. Hunter isn't super gear reliant, a lot of unique utility, comes up very strong in PvP, a lot of roots, slows, scattershot, traps, improved talents that give chances for stuns, or roots, flare, track stealth, and so on. And hopefully by the time this video's out, I should have reached rank 10, might even continue on to 11 to be honest, and I've been doing this all as a player, solo queuing. And yes, this rank at this point in time is still very doable casually since the pool boosting change was not put into the game, and I won't finish my ranking with tales you hear of what people go through to get 14, mainly for two big reasons. I prefer to be flexible with my time as much as possible, and B, I think premades are extremely polarizing and rarely offer a competitive game beyond being an honor per hour farming method. Besides, I don't need to premade to get to 10 or 11 either, it would only make it faster, and I'm not in a rush. I have, however, being a solo player, seen either side of premades in Battlegrounds. Joining an Arathi Basin and 14 players are from one server, and I'm the lone wolf. Game's over in 7 minutes, the enemy team is backed up into their graveyard, they don't even have a chance whatsoever to play the game, it's just a go next for them. On the other hand, I've experienced many a game where the enemy team has a full stacked premade. Our team of solo queuers pretty much loses the first fight and then just AFKs out of range of the graveyard, not resurrecting. It's even beneficial not to resurrect so the enemy team moves on to the next game faster to maximize their honor per hour. I can imagine the number of full premades versus premades can be a nice back and forth over the course of an evening if you see each other's teams a few times in a row, but that's very much the exception to the honor grind, not the rule. The majority of the time you see smaller premades or pugs. Premades themselves are typically rank 8 to 9 or higher, have a decent amount of gear to begin with from PvE content, frequently use voice comms to make callouts faster, have all the engineering and consumable items, as well as just being all there for a common reason, and they tend to PvP quite a bit as well if you're ranking. This puts them at a sizable advantage, and you can premade Arathi Basin with 15 players or Warsong Gulch with 10, that's a full stack. Unless the enemy team has a similar kind of setup, the game will be over before the gates have opened. No exaggeration. I've said it before prior to ranking, and now I've seen it firsthand, I'll say it again. Allowing full premades to join Battlegrounds was a mistake. Premades were absolutely nowhere near as common as this in vanilla. Remember when only Alliance could fully premade Alterac Valley and that got nerfed? Sure, it was an exploit of the system, not an intended interaction, and both factions have the equal chance to premade Arathi Basin and Warsong Gulch now, but despite being taken out of the game and now nearing 10 months or so later, Alliance wins so few Alterac Valleys that people don't even touch it unless they really want the reputation rewards or during AV weekend. I've personally had many a competitive game as somebody queuing by myself where say 4 or 5 players are premading on both teams in a Warsong Gulch or 6 or 7 in Arathi Basin. It can make the game harder for sure, but people doing this don't tend to be the really high ranked players, those are the ones running in full stacks. And you know, that's what I've said in the past about this system, literally just put a cap on the number of players that can premade in different battlegrounds. Alterac Valley is capped at 5, you know, despite being a 40-man battleground. Cap Warsong at 4 or 5, Arathi Basin at 6 or 7. This would make it harder to cap honor for the week earlier, as soloing players would be getting more honor as a result. This is the main downside of it. And I know the arguments for premades, it's a social game, you should be able to do it. Yes, I agree, just not a full battleground, however, or that people say you can still play on Monday or Tuesday when the premades are capped. However, having tried this over the past few weeks, the games on Monday and Tuesday are terrible. Literally the worst quality games I have ever experienced. Even solo queuers dodge Monday and Tuesday by the looks of it. It's just late premades, players capping, and bots a lot of bots. Premades in of themselves are fine, it's just very oppressive, rarely competitive, and just there to maximize honor, and frankly so you can stop playing the game earlier on in the week. But then again, all of this is just a symptom of the PvP system as a whole, right, of the honor and ranking. And it's probably my least favourite thing about Classic, just the kind of behaviour it encourages is unhealthy, creating drama around brackets, long playing hours, creating lost time fallacies around having started ranking now and, well, let's push on to your goal or start the whole thing again. As of patch 2.0.1, the TBC pre-patch, all PvP items are now purchasable via honor, which is earned daily, not weekly, as well as Battleground marks of honor. The rank 12 gear and above is still pretty expensive, and mounts, well yeah, 30 of each mark of honor, including AV. That one's kind of painful for both factions unless AV is revamped in the pre-patch, which would be very good. Would be cool after over a year of Horde having 2-hour queues and Alliance barely ever winning. Even back in the day, this change caused drama as people felt you could buy this gear a lot more easily and that you hadn't really earned it. Then again, you can display your highest PvP rank as a title now, so you still know who actually did the full rank 14 grind. By the way, Arena is also in the game from the pre-patch too, those being the Ring of Trials in Nagrand and the Circle of Blood in Blade's Edge Mountain. Runes of Lordaeron was added in 2.1, so I'd fully expect us to gain a short glimpse of insight into what Naxxramas geared Arena would have looked like, and how classes will play without many of their consumables or trinkets. I reckon we're going to see a lot of very short games. In the Burning Crusade, the best PvP gear is from Arena. No doubt Arena and the rating system will not be without its own issues like boosting or win trading, just like back in the day, I guess. I think after Classic, it's best to anticipate issues and have an answer where possible, because people really chase those rewards, and Blizzard had to manually police and issue bans for win trading back in the day, you know. How do you think that's going to play out these days? And there will be a lot more unfair ways for people to try and get the top end gear from the Arena system in TBC for certain. I'm also looking forward to Resilience. Burst is just already too high. If somebody with a lot of gear opens on you, it can be over in a global if they get lucky. Though things are still pretty burst and setup heavy, I'll be honest. We move away from all those gadgets and consumables in Arena 2, and the game starts to balance a bit more around the classes rather than just solely your professions, though the Battlegrounds are still the Wild West. There should also be a lot less pre-mading because of these two main factors. PvE Bis is no longer obtainable as a reward from Battlegrounds, they're just made a source of casual PvP where you can get catch-up gear or just go in being a really geared player to crush people. Which is kind of what Battlegrounds are to me. Even in later expansions when we got rated Battlegrounds, they never really took off because Blizzard made their rewards cosmetic like mounts or titles. And I guess we could just say wait it out, Classic's well past its halfway point by now. TBC will fix it, and I'm very sure it will, since there are no longer significant rewards from pre-mading Battlegrounds any longer. I can't say I'm expecting players to like the queue time increases anymore though. Let's not even mention faction bounce here to add on to this. Also, I don't think just saying wait, the next thing will fix it is always the best way to approach it if we already know what the resolution is, and it may even be possible to implement at the moment. Who knows though, maybe one day in the future Classic will get fresh. One to think about. What are your guys' experiences with ranking? Have you given it a go at all? As a solo, as a pre-made? How about limiting the number of players that can join a pre-made? Would it be overall beneficial to many, or just add weeks onto the rank 14 grind? Hit me up below. Thanks all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one very soon. If you like what you see, do give the video a like and subscribe, as there will be plenty more to come. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.